everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be walking you through exactly how to set up remarketing campaigns in your account in Google Ads. Now this applies for both e-commerce brands and service-based businesses, and it's going to show you exactly how to show your ads to those customers who already know about you, right? A massive problem that I've been seeing lately across all of the accounts I've been auditing is that they just do not have an effective remarketing presence, which means that they are bleeding money by not showing their ads to people who already know about them, which is some of the highest intent traffic that you can gather. So let's get right into the content and I will show you exactly how to set up remarketing campaigns for your account in Google Ads. All right guys, so remarketing campaigns, let's get started. As you can see here, I've got a bit of a board. I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly how to set up these campaigns with the full Google Ads steps. I just haven't done it exactly in an account, so I don't reveal any sensitive data. Just have done this to make sure that I'm still walking you through every step on Google Ads, but just in a more private, incognito way. So let's get right into it, shall we? As you can see here, remarketing campaigns, right? First of all, the biggest thing that you're going to need before starting anything to do with remarketing is you're going to need to be collecting your customer data, right? You can't remarket to people if you don't have the data of who you need to remarket to. So how we're going to do that is within the Audience Manager. If you go into your tools on the left-hand bar there and then go to Shared Library Audience Manager, in here, you can make sure that you have your data segments effectively connected to the Google Ads account. So automatically Google Ads will collect all of the data on your customers or your site visitors at least if you have a Google Ads tag installed on your website. So obviously to track anything on your website, to do conversion tracking, you do need a Google Ads tag installed. If you check out my old video on conversion tracking, you can see exactly how to get that set up in your account. And once you do have that set up, you should be tracking any kind of user data for at least website visitors and a couple other metrics through the Google Ads conversion tracking tag. Now you also have GA4 as an option for collecting custom data. You can also upload customer lists through either data collection on Shopify or on whatever website you may be using, any third-party tools through which you collect customer data. You can re-upload that to Google as well. So you have a lot of options for doing it. If you want to upload customer lists, you can do them within this Audience Manager tab as well. And then obviously these automatic collections are very helpful. Now, once you've got all that ready to go, now the GA4, by the way, it's just a matter of connecting your GA4 asset to your Google Ads account. Plenty of easy tutorials on exactly how to do that. Not too difficult, that one. Another thing you can also do is you can use SimProcess Custom Match Lists. This is a app on the Shopify store where you can basically install this SimProcess app, and it does a lot of the customer lists and customer matching for you, automatically syncs it through to Google Ads. It's a little bit easier to do, but I think it may be paid, actually it may be free. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't used this one in a while, but it is another option as well if you want a more simplified, streamlined process. $2.99 a month, there you go. So it is paid, but very cheap. Okay, cool. Now, once we have all of these audiences rolling and collecting data, you'll see there's one called All Users. That would be one of your Google Ads one, or All Visitors at least. You'll have a lot of different ones, right? These are the ones where a user or a visitor is someone who's been to your website before, right? So this is already showing a reasonably high level of intent for any kind of marketing that you can do. All right, now, how do we create an actual remarketing campaign? We go into the Campaigns tab, click Campaigns, and then click Create Campaign by clicking the blue plus button here. Then we have two options. We can either go for a display campaign or a video campaign. Now, you can also use PMax for remarketing, but it's a little more tricky and it's a little less reliable. So I'm gonna walk you guys through exactly how to do display and video today. First of all, on the display front, you start off by going create a campaign, and then you go sales as your objective. Make sure you have purchases set as your primary objective. You don't want add to cart in there. You don't want begin checkout, anything else. You just want purchases. So under your campaign type, then you go display, and then you put in your URL. So in this example, I've made up a fake brand, Peter's Pans, who we're going to be advertising for today, right? Put in your URL where you want users to go when they click on your ad. Campaign name, in this case, I've just called it display USA remarketing, right? So we're going to be targeting the USA, going to be remarketing, and it's a display campaign. Campaign settings, all right, location. So obviously input the location you want to target here. In this case, I've done the USA, and make sure that you hit the location options drop down and you include only presence. You don't want to do presence or interest. Very rarely you're getting high quality traffic from presence or interest. You're going to get people outside of your targeted location, and it's going to cause strife. All right, now, beyond that, there aren't any major settings you need to change here. You can pretty much walk ahead with just that presence one switched on. Languages, English if you're targeting English-speaking countries, and then continue on through here by clicking the next button. Choose a budget. In this case, I'm just going with $10 a day. Generally, you don't need a super high budget for remarketing because you are going to get high intent customers, but it's going to be pretty low volume. So you can only spend a certain amount per day. $10, $15 is honestly enough to start with in a lot of accounts. If you have a lot of traffic coming in, you can consider spending more, but in most cases, you don't need to spend a whole lot. All right, bidding. So in this case, we want to focus on maximize conversion value, or focus on conversion value and use the bidding strategy to maximize conversion value. That's because we already have data in this account. And in most accounts where you are using remarketing, you would already have data in the account, right? So I'm assuming you're already getting conversions coming through, you're getting high quality customers, getting paying customers. That's when you want to be using conversion value as your main focus, because Google can then use the data from your paying customers to figure out exactly who to target in your campaigns. So we want to focus on conversion value. If you don't have any data, first of all, you probably shouldn't be running remarketing if you don't have any sales in your account yet. But if you, for some reason, don't have any conversions and you really want to run remarketing, or you really want to target a specific remarketing audience, you can just use max clicks. But most of the time, conversion value or conversions is what you're going to be focusing on. Alrighty, then down to targeting. All right, now this is very important. When you get to the targeting section, you want to go add targeting, audience segments, and then under audience segments, you want to select, for example, all users of X, right? So this is going to be all the users of our website, all the people who've come to our website in the past, and all the ones who are within the audience, whatever time frame it may be that you've been collecting, to target them with remarketing ads, with display ads, right? If you're not familiar, display ads are basically the ads that pop up on the side of websites all over the internet, all throughout the Google search network. Google basically owns advertising spaces on a heap of websites, and if you advertise on display, you show up on those websites on the side as another nudge to say, hey, buy our product. You can also be showing up in things like Gmail, some other places as well with display. All right, optimized targeting. Don't turn on optimized targeting. We don't want that. It's going to go outside of your targeting range. Again, we're only trying to do remarketing here, so we don't want to go outside of our remarketing range, right? And once again, just make sure you're selecting that all users or whatever kind of segment you want to target in your remarketing. And then just go ahead and create your ads, right? This part I can't help you with too much because it's all dependent on your business, but put in your URL, obviously, put in your business name, put in a bunch of images. Now keep in mind where these images are going to show. They're going to be showing on the side of websites, on random placements where they're popping up and sort of just nudging people to try and buy. So make sure that you create your images with that in mind and with their placements in mind, and make sure that you have strong and effective ads within your images to get people to click and eventually buy, right? Logos, add a new logo, videos, headlines, et cetera, right? This stuff, I'll leave it all up to you. If you want some more ad creation or copywriting tips, please check out my previous video on how to write ads. That'll help you out a lot. That'll give you a lot of insight into how you can make these ads a lot better. I should be able to link that video somewhere at the top here. Alrighty, so now, if you want to make a video remarketing campaign, very similar process, right? Again, start out with sales, select, make sure purchases are turned on, campaign type, this time we select video, and then we continue through here, and then we go in and see that video campaigns are being updated to demand gen. You will probably have to use demand gen soon. I know you still can use video, but if you'd prefer to use demand gen, or if you are being forced to use demand gen, that's okay. You can use demand gen as well. All right, so campaign name, video USA remarketing. Again, campaign type is video, targeting the USA, and we're aiming to do remarketing. Enter location, United States, and keep on moving through here. And bidding strategy, maximize conversions. We can't do conversion value on videos here, but we can do maximize conversions. Similar with demand gen, I think you may be able to do maximize conversion value on demand gen, so go with that if you're in that case. Budgets and dates, right? Again, setting a fairly low budget, right? This is prompting me to do over $30, but realistically $10, $15, $20 is probably enough for remarketing on this account because it didn't have a whole lot of data in it and it would saturate its audience pretty quickly, right? Again, if you have a bigger audience, then you can be spending more on remarketing, but in this case, we'd be just keeping it pretty low. All right, networks, keeping it on the default here, just the YouTube video partners and on the Google Display Network. I don't think this is editable in this case here. And then product feed, right? We've included the product feed in here. If you have products, if you're an e-commerce store and you're selling products, feel free to include the product feed and demand gen as well. Feel free to include the product feed. It's just going to show the products at the bottom of your video, give a quick link through, quick review of them to essentially encourage people to click through. Devices, in this case, I've just gone all eligible devices. Don't go too crazy there. You can try and target specific devices if you require to, for whatever reason. If you find that you get a higher conversion rate on certain devices, then it could be worthwhile for you. Frequency capping, in this case, I've set it to 3 impressions per day. Realistically, that is very reasonable, right? Most people, if they see an ad 3 times in a day and they still haven't purchased, they're probably not going to purchase on the 4th view, right? So it's pretty rare that your ad will actually show onto one person 3 times in a day, but make sure you put some kind of limit on here, because otherwise it could just go a bit crazy and show your ad to someone 50 times and probably not get a very good result out of it. All right, ad schedule all day, third-party measurement, video enhancements, turn these off. We don't want Google changing our videos or enhancing our videos. It can just really mess everything up and sort of ruin the creative quality and make mistakes. So I do not recommend using these video enhancements. Ad group, site visitors remarketing. So in this case, we're remarketing to specific site visitors, just like we were in the last example with the display campaign. We're leaving on all products for our product catalog. Again, if you're an e-commerce store, you can choose to put specific products or all products depending on what you think is going to be more effective. Audience, all right, this is the important part. Add an audience. Optimized targeting should be off, but it doesn't let you turn off until you've got an audience, I think. So move through here. So we're going to do a site visitors audience here. This is where you have to create a specific audience. We're going to call it site visitors, and what we're going to do is we're going to add in our data. And in this case, it's going to be all users of the brand, right? Once again, just adding in that very simple data set, which comes from, I think, the Google Ads tag, either Google Ads or Google Analytics tag, one of the two. And it's pretty much preset, automatically populated as long as you've linked your data collection sources to Google. So then it just flows through there within our data. I've left the interest and detailed demographics blank because we're just focusing on the specific audience for remarketing. No need to exclude here, really. You can exclude purchases if you like. If you want to basically target people who've been to your site but they haven't purchased, then in this case you want to exclude your list of purchases. And that would make sure that you just target people who've been to your website but haven't bought. Demographics, just left that on. And then, there we go. Now we turn off optimized targeting after we've saved that, right? So make sure you're targeting just those site visitors, then turn off your optimized targeting so you don't expand beyond the audience. Once again, we just want to target remarketing. We don't want to go beyond the audience. And then you get to create your video ads. So once again, I've used the fake example of Peter's Pans, and I've just grabbed a YouTube video here from this random guy who's selling a frying pan here. And then you just put in your video. You put in a call to action. I've even got an example headline for you here: 40% off all pans for BCFM, right? If imagine you're in, it's meant to be BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We've got the long headline: 40% off all pans for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You'll never need another pan again, blah, blah, blah. Right? Just a little bit of copy in here to try and prompt you guys to write some more similar stuff. Then you give your ad a name, and then you are done. And that's exactly how you can set up display remarketing campaigns and also video remarketing campaigns for your business in Google Ads. Now, if you guys have any questions or if you have any requests for future content, please feel free to drop in the description down below. If you guys want some help setting up these remarketing campaigns, or you just don't want to do it yourself, or you just want someone to manage all your Google Ads for you and make you a heap of money with Google Ads, then please feel free to book a call with me at the description down below. I'm currently offering a one-time setup offer where I'll come in and build out our entire 8-figure system in your account for a one-time fee, which a lot of people have been loving lately, and we've been getting some really good results from it. So if you're interested in that, please hit the link down below. Otherwise, please consider subscribing if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more of it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.